Hello friends and fashion lovers, welcome and welcome back. Thank you for clicking on this video, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for all your love and your support. In today's tutorial, we'll be making this lovely baby wrap dress. It is very summer friendly and it's quite easy to make with a grow with me feature. Very comfortable as well for a child, even for an adult. So without much of a talking, let's get right into it. For this tutorial, I am using a white fabric, a yellow fabric, and also some buttons. I will also be using my basic bodice, which the link will be in the description box. I have traced out my basic bodice here, and I've noted where the neck line is, the neck width. So also this is a full bodice, just the front is a full bodice, and I'm going ahead to note the center front. So from the center front, I am just placing my measuring tape and I'm going to divide what I have into two. This is basically like dividing your front bodice into 4 parts, but just divide half of it into 2 and make a point. You're going to be connecting this point to the neckline that you had marked out, the standard natural neckline you would use for a child in a basic bodice. It doesn't matter if you connect it straight or a bit curved. So just connect that. Now that is all connected, I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Okay, so I will discard this other one. Well, I will keep this. For the sleeve, you can use any sleeve style of your choice. I wanted to make a cap sleeve, but I later changed my mind and made something really simple. So for the sleeve, I am marking 3 inches here by 3 inches. So depending on the cap's height of the child's sleeve or the round measurement, you can adjust this measurement. But for a 3-year-old, this size was enough, a 3-year-old or less. So right now I've connected this and I'm going to go ahead and take away 1 inch right here. So this is going to give some sort of shape to this sleeve. This was a personal choice. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. You could make yours 4 by 4 inches. It totally depends on what you want. But we might go into the sleeve much later if you're interested. So I've also cut with a seaming allowance and I've notched the center of the sleeve. So that is how the shape will look when sewn in. So now my pattern is pretty much ready, except for the skirts that will be cut later. So now for the bodice, I'm just going to go ahead and cut 2 pieces of this, both in my fashion fabric and in my lining. And also the back, I'm going to cut it on fold. The back has no zipper allowance. So here are my pieces that I have cut, and this is the sleeve. I've gone ahead to cut 4 pieces. That's 2 of my fashion fabric and 2 in the lining fabric. So for the front overlap, you want to flip your pattern over this way when cutting your front. When you place it on your fabric to cut, don't forget to flip it this way. You want it to appear correctly and nicely, and you want to do this flipping also for your lining. Please don't forget that. And for the back, it's cotton fold, both for my fashion fabric and also my lining. So it's time to put this together. You should have the fashion fabric placed right sides together, and also the lining, the back and the front should be placed right side facing each other. Go ahead and stitch the shoulder, and also place your sleeve, stitch the down part of your sleeve, just the down part, right side facing. After stitching your sleeve and your bodice on your fashion fabric, bring in your sleeve and place right side facing. Match the center of the sleeve to the shoulder seam and go ahead and pin this in place. You would want to repeat the same step for the second side as well. Pin the sleeve in place. After which you can take to your sewing machine and stitch that down. So now that you have your sleeve stitched on your bodice, tuck that sleeve away, turn it and make sure that you have the right side facing up. Go ahead and place your lining on your fashion fabric, right side facing each other. The right side should face, and make sure you sandwich the sleeve in between. Pin it in place and go ahead and stitch the armholes and also the neckline and the overlap. After stitching the armhole, the neckline and the overlap, you would have to notch. If you have much of a seaming allowance, you can cut back on that. After notching or cutting back your seaming allowance, you would like to turn this right side out by tucking it through the shoulder, and you pull it out through the back. So now you would want to go ahead and understitch your bodice. After understitching your bodice, place right side together, fashion fabric to fashion fabric, lining to lining. You're going to pin the side of this bodice and go ahead and stitch the sides. So now that the side is stitched, your bodice is pretty much ready. So to the skirt part, now you want to know that your skirt length is your dress length minus your bodice length, not forgetting the hemming allowance and also the joining allowance that you're going to be joining your skirt piece to your bodice piece. Another thing to also consider for the width, know that it's divided into three. That's the front overlap, the back, and the other side of the overlap. So you want to take those measurements individually and multiply them by 1.5 or 2 inches or 2.5, depending on how much fabric you have. After that, don't forget to join the sides to make it one whole dress, though you will match it up later. Hem the bottom and gather the skirt part to fit the bodice. So here I've gathered it. I have hemmed the bottom of this my skirt part, and I've also gone ahead to knitting the side since it will be an overlap. So you want to stitch that down nicely. So now that you've done that, it's time to place it right side facing each other. So you want to pin that in place, matching the side seams and adjusting your gathers as you go. When this step is completed, you want to go ahead and take to your sewing machine and stitch that in place. After stitching it in place, you should have nice and lovely like this. So another thing I did was to go ahead and make a button loop right here. So for this inner button loop, I used an elastic thread or a shirring thread, as you might call it. So I have a link to how to make a button loop in the description box, and I also attached a flat button for ease. So as I said, I have 2 buttons here, so all you need to do is for the child to hook it up, and it's quite comfortable. Then for the outer button, I used a regular thread for the outer button loop. So the link to how to make a button loop will be in the description box, as well as the bodice. So there you have it. In few simple steps, your dress is ready, and it's super comfortable for a child to wear. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified each time I upload a new video. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye for now.